What's up, everybody? This is Booster, and welcome to Valley TrailRiders on Father's Day. We're at the starting line, and I get a pretty good start. Coming into the first corner, and I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5th, 6th, I believe. Little jumps, and look at the leader. The leader just goes down in a pile of dust, and this is really dangerous. In this class, a lot of us aren't that good at riding, so you don't want to be out front and go down. And I thought I was going to sneak around the outside of that guy, but he picks up his bike and that slows me down a little bit. I lost a few positions, but not too bad. I believe I'm somewhere up around the top 10. So, oh man, can you guys hear that Suzuki? I love the cackle of the Suzukis. Like, those Suzuki 2-strokes had a sound that was just extremely distinct and just 100% their own. So here we are in the woods, and we're snaking back and forth here pretty good. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory. All right, I think it's either the night before this race or 2 nights before this race. I go out into the barn where I keep my bike, and I'm going to do like a pre-race check just to make sure everything's in operational order. I've had some horrible luck this year. Yeah, get on it. Get on that throttle. I'm having a lot of fun so far in this race. So anyway, I do the pre-race checklist. I'm looking things over, making sure nuts, bolts, everything's tight, oil levels are where they're supposed to be, brake fluid levels, all of that. And I look down, and all of my fork oil is sitting on the floor in a puddle. So that's just awesome. I don't have time to get to stores or anything and replace the seals because the seals are bad. So I think, well, what am I going to do? Well, I've got a second bike that I think, well, I'll swap the forks off of that. And mind you, these are stock forks. They're not revalved or anything, but they've got oil, so they've got to be better than what I've got, right? So I swap those out and I put them on, and I'm like, well, I think I'll play with the clickers a little bit here and see if I can't get them dialed in, close to what I was before. So I think, well, for a starting point, I will start with my clickers where the clickers are on my pair that my forks that I usually run. So I go and I try to bottom the clickers out, because you bottom them out and then you back out, and that's how you count the clicks to where you're at. Well, I start clicking on one of the forks. I don't remember if it was the right or left fork, and it just keeps going and going and going and never hits bottom. It's like, oh, okay. So now I'm sitting here wondering to myself, like, is it all the way hard? Is it all the way soft? Is it somewhere in between? And then I'm thinking too, like, well, it's going to be impossible for me to set the right side with the left. Whoa. It got a little slippery there for me. I go flying off the trail. A couple people get by, but that's all right. We'll get back on the trail. So if the right side and the left side aren't balanced, like, how is that going to react? Like, what's that going to do to me? Well, getting out here on the trail, I soon found out. It felt like I was, the front forks were so stiff, but at the same time, they were just bouncy, and it was just throwing me all over this trail. And it was weird. I don't know if you guys notice, if you look at my hands are moving like left and right, like trying to compensate for that front tire. Right there, I just almost hit a tree because it feels like the front end is on just like marbles, and it's just sliding me all over the place. Like I feel like I'm keeping a relatively good pace through here, But at the same time, like, it's sketchy and it's scary because I'm on the verge of being just like out of control and crashing through these trees. Yeah, look at how much I'm just left and right trying to compensate for that front tire. It feels like wherever I want the front tire to go, that's just not where the front tire wants to go. It's got a mind of its own, and I'm just hanging on out here. So by this point in the race, I've slipped back quite a bit. I mean, I started like top 5 or 6, and then I had that little mess up and went sliding off the trail. And again, that's because there was a little bit of a muddy section, and there were like those ruts. And usually I would be able to like just gas it and go right across those ruts, and my bike would just track straight through it. Well, it was not the case with this. It just sent me flying off the trail. So now I'm just trying to keep up. I don't know where I'm at. I'm probably in 15th, somewhere around there, and I'm just fighting this bike. And right there, I came down through that little dip, and it just hit so hard. It felt like I was bottoming out, but I wasn't. It was just like the forks were solid. Like I went around them and just like welded them in place. I might as well have just welded them solid and went out here and tried to run this. But you know, that's the kind of stuff that can happen when you swap out parts and just like, you know, I was trying to get ready for race day. I wanted to be able to go out and run this race. I always get really excited about Valley TrailRiders. I love coming out and running because I really like the course and I feel like I got a real shot. But when you don't get time to actually test your equipment and make sure that it's going to function like it needs to function, stuff like this can happen. So, I mean, if you guys are watching, I'm trying to keep a pretty good pace. I think I'm moving relatively well. But look at that. I almost clipped that tree. I did hit that tree. It's just, I'm all over the place. It's dangerous. And meanwhile, I'm falling further and further behind. Like, I'm not even going to show you guys all of the people that passed me because it would just be a video of people passing me. I think we get enough of people passing me on my own without all the times I pulled over and just let people by. And you know what? It's such a shame. I'm so frustrated about this race and the way this race turned out. I wish I could have this one back because I really feel like it seems like every time my conditioning is where it needs to be, the bike fails. And every time, like, I take a little bit of time off and I'm, you know, not really giving it full effort and making sure I'm in shape for these races. Whenever that happens, the bike's just fine, and it's, you know, completely me that's at fault for not putting forth more effort and having myself prepared. Got a little traffic jam here. Buckle my boot back up. Continue on my way. And if you look at this is some really nice trail. I really like this trail. Valley TrailRiders always does just an excellent job of cutting us some nice trail. It's relatively wide. It's not super tight, but at the same time, it's tight. You know, you don't feel like you're just on a road out here, just cruising around on some like ORV route or something like that. It's just barely wide enough for the quads to get down, which is about how I like it. But it's, at the same time, there's different sections where you're banging bars. Looks like I'm trying to keep up with this guy here. That would be neutral. Part of why I make these videos is so that I can go back and see what I do right and see what I do wrong and just kind of laugh at some of the stupid mistakes that I make. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of surprising, but at the same time, you know, I'm not that experienced yet racing, but it's kind of surprising just how often I actually hit neutral by accident. Here we go, let's pick up the pace. People had been just walking away from me and I was getting tired of it, and I felt like in the woods, in the choppy stuff, that these forks were way worse in the woods. So I felt like anytime I got the opportunity on any kind of straightaways or on anything that's relatively smooth, like this here, you can see this is relatively smooth. It's not just all chopped out. When I got that opportunity, I like to try to make up a little bit of time and try to catch back up to everybody. And again, I wish I could get this race back because I feel like I should have done so much better if I just would have had my normal forks. Which, by the way, I rebuilt my own forks, did the seals and everything. It was the first time I've ever done that. And yeah, that was an alright experience. I feel pretty confident I can do that every time now and have them turn out really nice. Yeah, I feel like I could have been so much faster than this. All these people here, I was thinking to myself when I'm going by them, they're probably thinking, hey, look at that guy, look how far behind he is, you know, and I'm just rushing trying to catch up. The guy just on the pipe screaming as he goes by, like a mile behind everybody else. Look at that, there's dust. So I see the dust and I think, wait a minute, maybe I'm not a mile behind. I look up ahead, hey, there's guys over there. There's one guy that just came off the jump right there. So I'm not that far behind. I think I'm in last place, I don't know. Maybe I'm in last place, but maybe I'm not. So I come up and I hit this jump and it looks like I go really slow, but I felt like I got some pretty good air over that. This guy holds the sign out. Booster rocks. Yes, I do, but not in this race. I don't know, it seems like this year I have just had such bad luck. Things have been rough for me as far as the racing goes this year. The reason, I'll explain right now, the reason that I haven't got a video out in so long is because I have been in the process of moving. I explained earlier this year how I got a new job and I'm working as a welding instructor, but my old house was about 100 miles away from work, so I was driving 200 miles a day to and from work just so that I could go to work every day, and that cut into my time like crazy. It's hard. It's real hard to work out after you've drove for 4 hours and you get home and you only have like 1 or 2 hours before you go to bed. And look at that, the front tire threw me off. I almost went off the trail again because of it. This thing is like riding a fucking Bronco, but it's real hard to work out and keep yourself motivated and keep in shape when you're that tired. So anyway, over the last like month and a half, I've been slowly moving. I bought a new house, and it's still a ways from work, but it's only 50 miles or 45 miles rather than 100 miles. So that's a big difference. I feel like I've got a lot more time in my day, and I've actually got time to do these videos again. So I should be able to get back on schedule. At this current point in time, it's like 2 days until the polka dots race, and I might be riding the team race, my first time ever riding the team race in the polka dots race. I'm not sure yet, or I might just ride the same class I always do. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. And I come through here scoring, and look how close that guy up ahead of me is. I've actually managed to catch some people on these crappy forks riding like I feel like I'm just gonna slide off the edge of the trail and kill myself. But look, there's actually a few people right here in front of me. I'm not doing as bad as I thought I was doing. But I haven't hit the woods yet either. Like I said, when I was on something that was relatively smooth, I felt like I could be a whole lot faster. I mean, my confidence was still shaken just because of how the bike felt, but once I got in the woods and things got choppy, oh man, that's when it was the worst. See, right through here now, I'm slowing way down. The bike just feels uncomfortable. I don't feel stable at all, and that guy's walking away from me again. I'm just like, man, more of this. Not to mention, I don't really want to kill myself that badly, so I didn't finish the race. I didn't finish it. And you know what? I'm getting really tired of not finishing races. Be it mechanical problems, or be it crashing, or whatever it is, I definitely want to finish. And I'll let you guys in on something else right now. I've already raced Chippewa Hills since posting this video, and I did finish that race. So hey, there's the little ones that are waving at me. This was Father's Day. I don't know if I'd mentioned that yet, but anyway, I come on back to the family here, and look at my wife. She's all worried. She thinks I'm hurt or something.
They're rough as heck. No.
So anyway, I took the wife and the little girls, and we went to the beach. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I think the time before I took my wife to Dairy Queen when I didn't get to finish because I broke my brake. But this time we went to the beach, and big boy, yeah, that was it. Anyway, we had a good Father's Day. It was a good time. I didn't have such a good time racing. I ended up being extremely frustrated and just irritated that things didn't work out the way they wanted them to, or that I wanted them to. I thought I had a really good shot at Valley TrailRiders. And Polka Dots is coming up, and we'll see what happens. That one should be a lot of fun too. The next video you guys see should be Chippewa Hills Hare Scramble, and you don't want to miss that one. It was an amazing track. If nothing else, you just want to see the track because it was awesome. Anyway, guys, this is Booster, and I will catch you guys next time.